is not casual fans not understanding the rule. It's commentators not understanding the damn rule. Your whole freaking life is football. The catch rule is not that complex, but every time something like that happens, whether it's just because they're trying to pander to both sides of the fan base, every time they're like, oh, well, I'm not sure. I don't really understand this rule. This rule doesn't make any sense to me. That looks like it might be a catch. I don't know.
Well, the catch rule is difficult because you get cases like Des Bryant versus the Lions or the Packers a couple years ago. He caught it. It started to bobble when he was down on the ground, but he wasn't out of bounds. The ball never touched the ground. He rolled and re-secured it back on his chest. That's a touchdown. At the very least, it's a catch with the ball on the one. But
that's true.
But we still have this argument going on. Did Dez catch it? Yes or no? Some people say no because he didn't secure the ball all the way to the ground. But the ball never touched the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's completely different. And that's where it's certainly more up in the air. But in a case like that where he doesn't survive the ground, it's open and close, and the announcers in the game were quite annoying because they were. It's in that part, it's extremely clear.
Are you saying Tony Romo was annoying?
I actually really like Tony Romo as an announcer, and he wasn't as bad. It was whoever
Jim Nantz.
Yeah, Jim Nantz. That was a lot worse. I think Tony Romo was.
Tony Romo was like, I'm pretty sure that's not a catch.
Yeah. He was pretty confident. He was like,
that's not a catch.
He was, at first in live TV, everyone's like, oh, that's a touchdown. But then, as soon as you saw the first replay, he was like, I'm pretty sure that's not a catch, Jim. Yeah. And I was like, all right. But then Jim Nantz was like, oh, I don't know. I don't understand this rule. Blah, blah, blah.
All right. The next two things pertain to the Dallas game. Index card. Index card.
I mean, whatever works. It's not like they were trying to, fit. It's not like they were trying to fit the width of the index card and determine whether that was the first down. As we discussed before the show, the rule is the last link in the chains. It's not the actual marker pole. So what he was doing was he was putting the index card perpendicular to that last link and bringing it down to see if it hit the football, and it did. It clearly moved. Really just. That's a pretty common thing when you're trying to measure something and make sure it's like even. Is use something that you know is straight and can be perpendicular to the object you're trying to measure. So it's not that. But crazy.
People are like, why was it folded? What if it was just one ply? Why is it folded? Are we measuring from the front or the back? Yeah, I'm calling you out, Marquette King. You suck. In addition to that...
Way more of a controversy than it should be.
In addition to that, the fumble back, what do you think about those?
That one was more obvious than certain other ones that happened this season.
Cough, cough, Austin Seferian-Jenkins, cough, cough?
That, there was not clear evidence when it was called a touchdown on the field. I'm not going to, I'm not.
But Derek Carr was a full yard away from the end zone when he fumbled it. And there are photos that show clearly him losing the ball before his knee touches out of bounds and all of that. So it's a fumble, goes out of the end zone. It's a touchback. And then last but not least for the NFL, I almost called them the Carolina Panthers are up for sale.
Mm-hmm.
Carolina Panthers up for sale. Crazy.
I wonder why.
Yeah, no, something, sexual assault, something. But there's a prospective owner out there. Diddy wants to buy the Panthers. And he had a video where he kept referring to them as the North Carolina Panthers, first of all, which is frustrating.
Well, maybe he'll move them, too.
Well, no, they play in North Carolina. They play in Raleigh.
Does Diddy have NFL owner money?
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
he does.
I'm not disbelieving that. I'm honestly questioning because he's been doing a ton of producing, and that's where the big bucks are. He's the highest paid rapper in history. Mm-hmm. Jay-Z is still like a couple $100 million behind. Wow. Yeah, so it's crazy. He said, is it the right time to buy an NFL team? I feel like they're more valuable now than they might be in the future because Viewership is declining. Basketball is on the rise.
This wouldn't be
buy an NBA team.
This wouldn't be a business thing.
Yeah,
because in the video he was going on about things that he would do, and he said he'd bring in Colin Kaepernick and give him a shot at starting quarterback.
Well, you're not going to give him a start at.
That's what he
You're
said.
not going to give him a shot at starting over Cam Newton.
That's what he said.
It's ridiculous. You'll give him a backup role.
He also said that they would make their second priority after football being the most entertaining halftime shows in NFL history.
Well, that I'm all for.
Yeah. It'd be like the only team that would.
He did call in favors throughout the entire, not just the
no, because he'd get like day 26.
Huh?
He'd get like day 26.
No, you know how many people owe Diddy a favor?
Do you know how many he'd call in all of his like making a band people that day 26 you're up?
No, those are like his productions for entertainment. He's got a lot of money behind the scenes. A lot of people owe him a favor. He could call in a favor on almost anybody.
He'd get like Faith Evans. And like I don't know. Come on.
I'm pretty sure he could do it.
But he wants to own the Panthers, and Colin Kaepernick said he'd rather be involved as an owner than he would as a player, because he ain't gonna get to play in Carolina. Like, you're not gonna beat Cam Newton.
No,
Fools. All right, so that's all I've got for the NFL. Next, we are going to move on to WTF. I'll go first. The NFL is one of the richest companies in the world, is very successful, has all of the resources to make the game pure, but instead, a first down is determined by a damn index card. Well, that's football. An index card. I still can't believe that. And I'm on the side of the team that won. All right, what do you guys got for a WTF moment?
I have two. One is Rodgers coming off of IR just to be put back on after one game. The other, less sad, more funny, is Teddy Bridgewater coming into the game and immediately throwing an interception. Like within 30 seconds, he throws his first pick since coming back into an NFL game. Was funny. He's obviously, it was a huge moment for him, and I don't think that really detracts from it. It's your first game back after devastating injury and long recovery.
No excuse. Tony Romo's first series after coming back from his injury was a touchdown against the Eagles. No excuse.
I think Bridgewater's injury might have been a little worse.
I think Tony Romo has had some of the worst injuries in NFL history.
That's true.
Collapsed lung, punctured lung,
That's true.
Messed up back, messed up neck.
But how long did each of those keep him out collectively?
Just a few weeks.
Years.
Because the guy's an idiot.
Yeah, collectively years, but
yes.
But by themselves, he wasn't out that long.
No. All right, Dan, what do you have?
I got the Tampa Bay Bucks hanging with the Falcons like they did. Or going into thinking that Atlanta's going to be one of the teams to take at the end, but not with a small one like that.
But here we are, famous Jameis.
Yeah.
Crab legs his way in. All right, well, that's football. All right, guys, it's come to that time of the show where we make our picks. Dan Beebe and I both tied with a 6-4 record,
yep.
And Tony and Dan O'Shea were 4-6. So I haven't looked at any of the games yet, so this is going to be fun. But Dan, you and I, in a little toy shop, buy a bag of balloons with the money we've got.
All right, I got red balloon.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to split this. So you come up with your games while I look at other games.
Okay. I got 2 and 3 on them. We'll do it now.
All right, what's the first one going to be?
All right, so NCAA, we got...
Sorry, 1 second.
Yep. I'll bring up my phone here quick. I want to add the bowls, but I didn't write them down earlier, so we'll...
real quick, while you guys are figuring that out, I did want to talk about one thing. I'd never heard of this, and I now hate Lance Stevenson, because he's a I'm just gonna say he's a piece of shit.
Merry Christmas.
Merry effing Christmas.
You piece of shit.
No, I'm dead serious. He is. I was reading. There was a thread about not only Kobe getting honored, but also bringing up Kobe's past, and someone mentioned Lance Stevenson, and this happened in 2010, and I have never heard about this. It was when he was just drafted. He pushed his girlfriend down a flight of stairs and then grabbed her and smashed her head on the bottom step. Mm-hmm. Why is this guy in the league at all?
I don't know. I've never heard that either. This got a lot darker than I thought it was going to be.
He should go the way of Greg Hardy and just be tossed.
Have you guys ever heard of a promising young wide receiver who played for the Carolina Panthers by the name of Ray Caruth?
Yeah.
I have not.
Okay, so this was quite a while ago. Ray Caruth, very promising athlete, had a bright future ahead of him. Wasn't going to be a superstar or anything, but, could have been a good player in the NFL. His girlfriend gets pregnant, and he kills her and stuffs her body in the trunk of his car. And so he admitted to 2 murders, the murder of his girlfriend and the murder of the unborn child.
Right.
I think he's still in jail, and this was like 20-some years ago, maybe less than 20. But
well deserved.
yeah. No, I'm not saying he should be getting out of jail. Just look him up when you get a chance, because it's a fascinating story.
I mean, like, you're about to go to the NFL. Your girl gets pregnant. That's not that big of a deal when you've got that kind of income coming your way.
Listen, the only time that you should really have those kinds of feelings if you're in the NFL and you find out your girlfriend is pregnant is if you're Antonio Cromartie.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say is when your wife doesn't need to find out.
or if you're Phillip Rivers, because neither of them really need more kids.
Yeah, man.
7 he's got.
Cromartie actually has a show now, but yeah.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say
it's called No More Money.
I just wanted to say screw Lance Stevenson, and I hope someone breaks both of his knees and he never plays in the NBA again.
There's a movie about that called I, Tonya. All right, so Dan Beebe, you've got some games for us.
Yep. So the first NCAA bowl game we have is the DXL Frisco Bowl.
DXL Frisco Bowl.
We'll do LA Tech versus SMU.
Louisiana Tech, straight up.
This is going to be against the spread.
Okay, what's the spread?
4 points to SMU.
Okay, they're a 4-point favorite. Okay. So, I don't know, Tony, if you're still listening, Mr. Kaspar, please show us a sign. All right, so I'll start the show here.
Mm-hmm.
I think Louisiana Tech is going to stay within 4.
Okay, I'll say SMU.
I'm gonna stick with SMU because that's who I
picked in the bracket. Yeah.
Yep, that's who's in my bracket.
Yeah, I think I had them too. I'm pretty sure. So.
Tony, oh Tony, who do you have? Tony, hey Tony, who do you have?
Still there?
I don't know if he's still there. Hey Tony. All right, we'll get his picks later, and we'll not count him because you didn't get him in on time. All right, Dan Beebe, what is the next game you have?
Game 2, we got San Diego State versus Army in the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl, and we'll do that one straight up.
All right, I'm going to take San Diego State.
Same.
Huge fan of Rashad Penny.
I like Army, but I think they're a little too one-dimensional.
They only run.
That's all they do. It was incredibly frustrating to watch a close game where they refused to pass the ball more than one time, and that was when they beat Duke. That was the game I was watching. I was just like. It worked. They won, but it's not going to work against...
Top receiver had like 400 It's only 400 yards past